System heavy plus sign space heavy plus sign pass through heavy plus sign ancient times heavy plus sign dinosaur heavy plus sign survival heavy plus sign ancient cooperation heavy plus sign establishing tribes heavy plus sign the chieftain dominates. Lv Xiaolong, a special forces veteran arranged to work in the archaeological team. The Star Wars space system exploded and collided with the moon's Guanghan Palace base during the crash, resulting in the disappearance of the base's warehouse. In the ancient tomb, the archaeological team had just opened the Dragon Gate when a beam of light fell and all the archaeological teams disappeared. On the ancient wilderness, a group of uninvited guests suddenly arrived. Who made a joke in Chapter 1? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. The visit of Blue Star, AUMA-MO, and the unsuccessful reports of NASA tracking have sounded the alarm for major powers. Musk is working hard to build a space rocket to settle on Mars, while Zuckerberg spent $1.9 billion on building the Doomsday Bunker in Hawaii. Huagua's Guanghan Palace base on the moon has been in operation for 2 years, and the South Tianmen project is also about to be completed. But everything came too quickly, and the Star Wars of Kepler and Alpha directly affected humanity. Quantum weapons are rampant in distant space, space stations from various countries are crashing, and the US NASA system is about to crash into the moon with a big explosion. The barriers of the Guanghan Palace were closed one after another, ready for impact, and a huge tremor swept by with a clattering sound. The main body of Guanghan Palace was unharmed, but the material warehouse in the nearby meteorite crater was swept away by the rapids. The entire building disappeared into thin air without a trace. It was close, finally there was no impact, and the explosive passed by the Guanghan Palace. Report to headquarters quickly, the explosives have gone to the Blue Star. Please ask the relevant departments to take preventive measures. In the western part of China, underground, this is clearly an ancient tomb, and a team of 6 archaeologists are busy carrying out rescue excavation work here. Stratigraphy expert Qian Dong is the deputy team leader, while other personnel include rescue excavation expert Wu Yongqiang, textual research expert Sun Jiai, and fragment research expert Li Zihan. There is also radiation research expert Wang Southeast, and the old scalper with bags and kettle cameras hanging all over his body is the security captain Lv Xiaolong in this team. Since his discharge from the special forces, he has been assigned to such a department. Although there are only a few members in a small group, there are a large number of experts, so it is difficult to lead the team. But Xiaolong has a way to deal with them. After all, he is the boss for survival in the wilderness, so when the group is working normally, he has to listen to Qian Dong, and other times he has to. It's normal working hours now, and he's just an errand worker, being bossed around by them. The country has considerations, although it is one of the best in technology, preventive measures still need to keep up. The reason for the urgency of this mission is similar to that of the Mars program and the Doomsday Bunker, which is a precautionary measure. When humans need an apocalyptic bunker in case of an accident, the surface of the Blue Star is basically the same, and the road is simple. Humans can only return to the most primitive Stone Age. So this ancient tomb is very important. If we bring it back, the Stone Age of China will end before other countries, and we can enter civilized society ahead of time. Click, click, click. The hammer caused dust to fall down from the crevices of the stone, and the electric hammer followed suit and drilled out the gun hole. For enough, just blow up the slots on both sides of the gate, and if the broken dragon gate cannot be fixed, it will be scrapped. Duanlong Jia is a gate device used by ancient people to prevent theft, and enemies. It is generally used in the walls of Wenqing, important warehouses, and tombs. When the broken dragon gate was lowered, it was a deadly situation in ancient times, because the gates made of bluestone weighed several thousand pounds and weighed tens of thousands of pounds. Someone once came to steal this ancient tomb, but unfortunately, the tomb robber touched the mechanism and was sealed inside the broken dragon gate. Now it is estimated that the body has grown hair. Everyone retreated outside the bend together, covered their ears and pressed the remote control boom boom boom, bang. Bang. The entire tomb passage shook, the smoke and dust dissipated a bit, and the bright flashlight eagerly shone in. The dark tomb opened its mouth and was waiting for them to break in. Success, we have blown over the broken dragon gate. Go inside and see if there is one. Security Captain Lv Xiaolong is responsible for clearing the way, being the first to enter with a flashlight. Everyone behind him has a flashlight in hand, illuminating the tomb like daylight. Lv Xiaolong drove the bones of the tomb robber into the corner with his feet and arrived at the center of the tomb chamber. A huge stone-carved coffin, with two coiled snake-shaped stone carvings at its top, a bow on one side and a sword on the other. Sure enough, it's exactly the same as recorded in the history books, Xuanhuan sword, Qiankuan bao. Qian Dong rushed over excitedly, but dared not touch it. He could only examine and check for any hidden mechanisms to prevent any random movements that could trigger the wisdom of the ancients. All the flashlights were aimed at the legendary artifact, and Lv Xiaolong held up his camera to help take photos when suddenly the whole underground was trembling, vibrating, shaking, and becoming increasingly intense. It seems like a train is rushing towards us in the distance. What's going on? Is it an earthquake? It's impossible. You can feel the earthquake under your feet, but now the feeling is above your head. A meteor-like object quickly collided with the earth, and as it burned, it became smaller and smaller, leaving only a crystal nucleus the size of a ping-pong ball. The shimmering golden sphere, coincidentally, broke through the soil and plunged into the ancient tomb. The powerful shock wave of the tomb chamber began to collapse, and Lv Xiaolong habitually protected everyone. 5 people surrounded Xuanhuan's sword and Qiankuan bao, and he opened his arms to knock them down. A golden ball smashed into his back, and Lv Xiaolong unleashed his blood. Little dragon. Captain Lv. Lv Xiaolong pounced forward, grabbed the Qiankuan bao with his left hand, and slapped the Xuanhuan sword with his right hand. His body did not collapse for a moment, and with a bang, it shone brightly. Everyone saw Lv Xiaolong's chest and a brilliant light burst out from inside. Oh ah! He propped up his bao and sword with both hands, and when he let out the sound, his toes tiptoed up, his chest straightened out, his head held high, and his mouth opened wide. At that moment, he was like Hulk the Hulk. His screams were like the roar of a tiger and the roar of a dragon, as if he was about to break through the 9 heavens. However, the light that broke through suddenly shrank, and it went back like a video being played backwards with a whoosh. The strong light caused temporary blindness in front of everyone, making them feel blazing with fire, and the strong light made them dizzy for a while. Pop 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 pop. Everyone couldn't bear it anymore, they all fell to the ground and fainted, and Lv Xiaolong also collapsed softly. A gust of wind blew by, the grass swayed, the branches swayed, and the people on the ground trembled and opened their eyes. Almost at the same time, the 6 people were awakened from the cold and immediately trembled while holding their arms in both hands. Ah, where are my clothes? Ah, Li Zihan and Sun Jiayi screamed in surprise as they hugged each other and crouched down. Looking left and right, they screamed again. Where are we? Aren't we in an ancient tomb? Where have all our clothes gone? They were all 6 naked, not in the ancient tomb but in the desolate wilderness. Qian Dong also turned blush and quickly turned his back. Wu Yongqiang and Wang Dongnan tore off 2 leaves of the tree to cover the key parts. Lv Xiaolong ignored it and looked left and right in confusion, holding his extra-large size to make everyone feel ashamed. Li Zihan and Sun Jiayi blushed and heartbeat, afraid to look but still glanced. Who was this joke? Run quickly, it's dangerous. Lu Xiaolong shouted loudly, run high up there, fast, fast, fast. This is not a joke. Dinosaurs are here, they are all running on horses. Chapter 2. Master, I am Natasha. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Sun Jiayi. Rogue, if you want to see us running naked, you don't have to talk about dinosaurs, right? What era is it? Li Zihan said, you're really shameless. Why don't you find something to cover up for us? I really suspect that you hid the clothes. Li Zihan and Sun Jiayi lowered their bodies and remained motionless. If they stood up, it would have exposed everything. But they unconsciously felt a wave of panic. Wang Dongnan and Wu Yongqiang surprisingly threw away the tree leaves, shook their buttocks and ran wildly, and the ground felt a sense of vibration. Even Captain Qian was shouting at them. Damn it, is Xiaolong that kind of person? Don't forget that he comes from a military background. I can't explain it clearly now. Run quickly, follow along, and keep up if you don't want to die. They were finally scared, one hand covering horizontally and the other hand covering downwards. They stood up and looked, and suddenly screamed in surprise. Li Zihan. What? What is that? How could it be? Sun Jiayi. Ah. Are you really a dinosaur? Give me a pinch, I'm afraid this isn't a real world. Oh, hiss, it's not a dream, run quickly. How can you run while holding it? Live or die? Do you want face or death? Wu Yongqiang and Wang Southeast were surprised to find that the two by man threw away their arms, and their long legs, like wind and fire wheels, surpassed them. This is the Olympic spirit. On the high slope, several people hugged under the thick shade of a tree, and there was a sea potato plant. The two of them rushed in with a swoosh, blocking themselves from the huge leaves. Wu Yongqiang and Wang Southeast rushed into the green bushes on the other side of the big tree, while Qian Dong ran and looked back, patting his thighs and shouting. Ruyang dragon, this is a giant Ruyang dragon. Damn it, where are our cameras? Where are our phones? This moment is worth recording. 5 huge dinosaurs walked along the low grassland, shaking the ground with each step they took. They walk slowly but not at all, because each step is over 2 meters away. Push, push, push. Outside the Hunan Geological Museum, the skeleton of the largest dinosaur in the world, the giant Ruyang dragon, stands there, just like the dinosaur in front of us. The Ruyang dinosaur has a body length of 38.1 meters, a body width of 3.3 meters, and a neck length of 17 meters, making it the thickest, heaviest, and largest known restored dinosaur in the world. It is speculated that its living weight could reach 130 tons, equivalent to the weight of 20 elephants. The extremely elongated cervical vertebrae indicate that the giant Ruyanglong is a long cervical vertebrae animal. Qian Dong almost rushed into the green bushes on Li Zihan's side, only to see his 2 heads and quickly turn around, drilling into the green bushes of Wang Southeast and his companions next door. 5 faces under the large leaves of the sea taro, water droplet Guanyin, watching the dinosaurs pass by the slope, their skin resembling elephants and rhinoceroses, now within reach. Wu Yongqiang. Leader Qian, are they herbivorous? Yes, herbivorous animals. The larger the dinosaurs, the more they eat grass, while the smaller they are, the more they actually eat meat. Otherwise, if they were so big, they would have wiped themselves out long ago. Wang Dongnan said, huh. Where is the person from Lv Xiaolong? Yeah, why didn't you see him? 2 heads poked out next to the big tree. Sun Jiayi first shouted, Leader, have you forgotten our task? We are clearly in the ancient tomb, but how could we appear here? That's right, Captain. Isn't this a conspiracy? The military background you mentioned wouldn't be instigated by foreign countries, right? Why did we just open the dragon-broken gate and enter? Li Zihan analyzed and said. So coincidentally, something happened. I remember seeing a light shining on him and we lost consciousness. Isn't it just me who misread? Sun Jiayi continued, so he's very suspicious. He's afraid we'll get in the way, so he took advantage of our coma and threw away everything, including clothes. Shut up. Qian Dong's face was very unhappy. At that time, the ground suddenly shook, and the light came down from above. It was Little Dragon who opened his arms to protect us before he was hit by the light and vomited blood. The only explanation is that the light passed through his chest. How did it retract into his body? At that moment, we were dizzy by the light and Xiaolong also fell. He took that blow for us, and I thought we would lose him. I didn't expect everyone to be there, so I can guarantee Little Dragon's personality. He continued, don't be so narrow-minded, just jump out and see the whole thing. Who can tell me where real dinosaurs are on our blue star? Sun Jie covered her mouth and said, yes, dinosaurs have been extinct for tens of thousands of years. It seems that we blamed him wrong, but instead he saved us. Li Zihan shook his mouth and said, ah. So, did we also come up with a play called The Story of team.The? They really called it The Story of Qin when they arrived in Qin, but I think we're just The Story of the Dragon. Everyone then gave up staring at the dinosaurs and began to observe the surroundings, which were green everywhere. It's either a grassland or a green forest. There are many big trees like those around me that are so thick and can't be seen to the top. Their faces turn pale. Is this the Jurassic period? Did they really cross over? Bang! Ah! A gunshot shocked all their wild thoughts back. It's not Jurassic, there's gunfire. It's him, it's Lv Xiaolong. In the grass on the left front, the naked man was jumping and flying, and behind him, some animal was chasing and intercepting him with its teeth bared. Yes, is it a tiger? How come there are so many? No, it's a wolf, which is the ancestor of wolves in our world. Bang! Ah! Ah ah ah! The hearts of everyone who had just been scared were instantly attracted. What a brave man! So many wolves were being played around by him alone. He occasionally counterattacked them, and the tiger-sized wolf was shot and screamed to the ground, dying. Just now, Lv Xiaolong was confused and subconsciously asked everyone to run quickly, but he kept peering into his own body because he woke up and discovered his secret. As soon as he opened his eyes, he heard a prompt sound. Master, the system has been fully configured. I am Natasha, and I am happy to serve you. At that time, he was also confused, so he didn't have time to speak, but his brain must have been running first. What is he thinking about? System. Is today April Fool's Day? Master, today is September 20th, not April Fool's Day. Oh my. Can it still understand my heart without speaking? Yes, Master. So Lv Xiaolong didn't need to speak and directly communicated with it. NASA, why are you in my body? That is to say, why did you choose me? I came from space, and before the automatic shutdown, I had to find the necessary energy. In fact, I was attracted by the Qianquan Bao. But when I broke through the ground, I found that you were blocking the Qianquan Bao, so I killed you. I passed through your body and came out, but to my surprise, you were the chosen one. Because no one in the world could control the Xuanhuan sword and Qianquan Bao, they were buried underground. And when I attacked you, you raised the Xuanhuan sword with one hand and the Qianquan Bao with the other due to pain. Chapter 3. System and Space. You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. Being able to control two divine tools at the same time shows that you are a unique celestial being. So I helped you collect the divine tools and host them together in your body. I just caused you a little trouble, because my speed was too fast, and the light of my own small universe exploded, taking you to ancient times. Lv Xiaolong asked in surprise, how far is it? In the Neolithic period around 8500 BC, you are now the predecessor of the Han ethnic group and also the ancestors of the Huaxia ethnic group. This is the origin of the Yellow River Basin. They created the old official platform culture of Jiahu culture, Peilagang culture, Yangshao culture, and Longshan culture, gradually transitioning from a matrilineal society to a patrilineal society, so far away from the sleeping trough. Why don't you take us back? Master, Nasha can't do it. What are you saying? You brought us over, but now we can't get back. That's not something I can control, my master. I flew too fast from space, and the real culprit is the light of time, not me. Lv Xiaolong was furious and said, then I want you to use eggs. Do you still want to live in my body for free? NASA. No, master. I accidentally brought a warehouse with me in the Guanghan palace, and I gave it to you. Now you not only have me, but also have endless space for food and drink. What? Which novels are all true? Systems. Space. Have I encountered them all? How do I enter the space? Is it also possible to freely withdraw things from the space just by thinking about it? Oh. You're very knowledgeable, master. Since you already know, I'll have to rest. Fortunately, I arrived in time, otherwise I would have been devastated. Well, I'll hold on to the Xuanhuan bow to replenish some energy before we talk. Hey, do I have anything else to ask? Charging, high voltage. High voltage. High voltage. Okay, she really fell asleep. Lv Xiaolong thought to himself that he wanted to see the space, so his consciousness had arrived at a silver-white circular palace, which was brightly lit and filled with a dazzling array of goods. When the shelves are high and you can't see the top, you can basically find any material in the world here. Wait, she just said she can't finish eating and drinking, can't she use it all? So, does this feature go against the trend of automatic restocking? Ha, how could Lv Xiaolong and he-De have such a treasure? Is it possible that after so many years of suffering, the heavens have seen it as a way to make up for it? Wasn't bleeding and sweating just to stay in the army? But with no eggs, it's better to have new recruits from the university. If they come to guild, they will squeeze out the spots. Before leaving, I also gave a multiple-choice question, either to get 700,000 yuan at once or to have the government arrange a job. If you buy a car for 700,000 yuan, you'll lose it. What can you do without a diploma? Then choose a job. As a result, I joined this group and it was quite easy not to travel, working 9 to 5 like a white-collar worker. But as soon as I go on a business trip, I become an old scalper of revolution. I say I am the captain of the security team, but I am purely a bare rod commander. All 5 team members are experts, and their diplomas are very popular. I thought I had a stable job, but after talking about a girlfriend, I was able to secure it. However, I introduced a few people to him. He was seen as a security guard, but he was despised by others. I didn't expect to instinctively save everyone today, but unexpectedly, good luck fell from the sky and I won the lottery. Take a leisurely stroll around, with food and drink, cultural and sports supplies, weapons and ammunition all in one piece. Take it out, put it in, and have fun playing. Ahem. Not so invested, he suddenly regained consciousness when a wild beast attacked him and he didn't notice it yet. With just one move, hold the Warwick M500 pistol in your hand. With a huge caliber of 500, this gun has been rated as one of the most powerful pistols in the world. Its immense power is enough to shoot down a brown bear with one shot, and it can even penetrate concrete walls directly. In an instant, he flipped his head over, but these beasts were not afraid and still clung to him without letting go. His grandmother drips, you guys just deliver it to your door without anything, right? In this way, both meat and leather clothes are available. System and space. If you can keep it hidden, you must keep it hidden, otherwise who would believe it? Shouldn't you consider yourself a monster? What if I go back and get sliced and studied by relevant departments? Bang 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 bang. 6 heads are enough, each person has a leather coat. Sha sha sha. After Lv Xiaolong lit the grass and flew to the bushes, the remaining 4 fools still rushed in. Zizizi. Xiaolong smiled and twisted on the muffler, then raised his hand to continuously shoot into the space and walked away. It's like killing a wolf in 10 steps, leaving no trace for 1,000 miles. Find an inconspicuous kettle in the space, grind it old on the gravel, and throw it in the grass. Take out a set of combination leather covers and tie them to your legs, with a gun, dagger, and lighter inserted on top, and start tidying up the wolf meat. Seeing it was safe, Xiaolong dragged the dead wolf together and skinned them. They all wrapped themselves in taro leaves and descended the slope, silently squatting to one side. Don't watch anymore, let's all do it. Anan Aqiang goes to find water, Zihan Jiai goes to pick up some dry firewood, and the team leader helps break down the meat and make skewers. Aren't you hungry? Aren't you thirsty? After eating the meat here, you also have clothes, but don't mind the fishy smell. Li Zihan and Sun Jiai looked at the wolf skin and the covered potato leaves, and immediately got up to pick up firewood. Wang Southeast looked mournful and said, "Little dragon, go find water. Do you want me to bring it back?" Lv Xiaolong kicked the grass with his foot and said, "I saw an old kettle. I don't know if it came with us or from somewhere else. Just wash it and use it." Wu Yongqiang quickly picked it up and said, "This is pretty good. Let's go quickly. It's getting late." Lu Xiaolong followed their backs and added, "The water flows downwards, don't wander around." The two of them awkwardly stopped and walked in a different direction. Xiaolong shook his head and said, "Hey, the scholar." As Sun Jiai watched the ignition, she curiously asked, "Captain Lv, where did all your things come from?" Lv Xiaolong replied casually without lifting his head. "Didn't other soldiers tell you? Don't ask what shouldn't be asked, I can't disclose military secrets either. Special forces always have some means of making a living. As long as you know, outside of work, I am responsible for your clothing, food, housing, and transportation." Sun Jiai pursed her mouth and watched as he had not covered her body from the beginning until now, causing her face to turn red. Wu Yongqiang and Wang Southeast returned and couldn't help but sniff at the smell of grilled meat, saying, "Wow, it smells so delicious." "Captain Lv, we've brought back so much water," Wang Southeast said proudly. Xiaolong saw Wu Yongqiang carrying a kettle, holding a bucket-shaped object dripping water. "Let it go, drink from the kettle, the water there can only be used for washing hands." Listening to Lv Xiaolong's faint tone, Wang Southeast became unhappy and said, "Why? It's all water from a small stream, why can't I drink mine?" Lv Xiaolong gave him a white glance and said, "Because the container you use to hold water is the skull of a dinosaur." Chapter 4. Self-directed and self-performed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ah, sleeping trough. When he panicked, he let go of the water he was holding. Pop. Lv Xiaolong made a steady spin to catch the two beautiful women, but gave a close dot up of them. Oh my God. The two beautiful women covered their faces with both hands, but their big fingers betrayed them. Xiaolong put down the water and twisted it, ensuring that it wouldn't tip over. "Since we've brought it back, don't waste it. It's still possible to use it for washing hands and feet," he said. He took out the urine bubbles from the wolf's internal organs and sprinkled them all around the campsite, burying everything else under the charcoal fire. Qian Dong piled meat on big leaves and skewered it, while Xiaolong handed over the barbecue to Wang Southeast and Wu Yongqiang. "You guys go ahead and grill the meat. I'll clean the fat off the skin first, and I'll dry it for you tonight. I'll make do with it tomorrow." He spread out the wolf's skin on the ground and used a knife to scrape off the white flesh on the opposite side. The sky became increasingly dark. Lv Xiaolong added another fire and began to quickly bake the meat skin on the opposite side of the skin. After scraping it clean, it was still greasy, and a little drying would make it much better. The smell of baking wafts in the air, which is a bit unpleasant, making the appetite of women in a bad mood even worse. After only a few pieces, they don't want to eat anymore. Then you should rest early. Come on, this piece of leather is ready to use. Let's lay it on the ground and sleep first. Ah, on the distant wilderness, the call of wild beasts can be heard from time to time, making the empty wilderness seem desolate. "Thank you, Captain Lv." Li Zihan took it and dragged the skin to lay it by the campfire. The wolf skin, the size of a tiger, was split open on its belly, and the two of them lay together, squeezing together perfectly. Xiaolong took the time to eat the leftover meat from them, quietly sprinkled salt and wolfed down a few pieces before continuing to process the skin. They can't eat it, half of the reason is because there's no taste. On the first day of arrival, they definitely don't get used to it, but they can't get used to it. They'll eat feces even if they're hungry for a few days. Wu Yongqiang, Wang Southeast, and Qian Dong huddled together and whispered to each other, implying that after a sudden disappearance, it was estimated that the family had already gone into chaos. Whispering. Sun Jie trembled and her delicate body began to cry, and Li Zihan also shed tears to comfort her. Everyone understood what she was crying about, but whose mood was not like this at this moment. I traveled for no reason, and they all dressed up as princes and princesses. No matter how poor they were still second-generation wealthy. Can you take a look at them? The wasteland is impoverished and impoverished, with not even a single piece of clothing. It's really a long time to see. The key family members must have thought they were all dead. It must have been a memorial service set up in a mourning hall, and their parents were crying uncontrollably. I wonder if they can afford it. Only Lv Xiaolong seemed indifferent, focused on doing his job because he was alone and the whole family was not hungry. As the leather baked out, the three men also lay down, and the beep 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 firewood burst open. September nights began to get colder and colder. They slowly fell asleep, but Little Dragon was observing their figures, cutting the leather. Pierce a few small holes with the tip of the knife, tear the skin of the vine into threads, and sew them together to form knots. Long clothes and pants are impossible anymore, vest and shoulder heavy + there's no problem with the hip wrap skirt. In the latter half of the night, he had already finished everyone's clothes and gently placed them beside them. He quietly came to the side of the stream. Open a bottle of Moon Rabbit brand beer and slowly drink it, starting to plan the next survival plan. Before leaving, I lost a backpack by the river, half in the water and half resting on a branch by the river. It looked like it had rushed down from somewhere. I took a few steps and threw the wolf corpse in the space onto the ground. Then, I inserted an old-fashioned knife to the east and an ancient sword to the west, guiding the blood into the bushes. Then he threw another tent backpack inside, and after directing and performing a scene, he tiptoed back to the campsite to pretend to sleep. Wang Dongnan and Wu Yongqiang got up and saw the new clothes, so they happily put them on, and now they have become the chief attire of ancient times. Yesterday they went to fetch water, so they consciously took the kettle and set off. Soon, their cries of surprise came. "What's wrong? What's wrong again?" Li Zihan and Sun Jie quickly got up. The leaves that covered the night had already rolled to an unknown place. Seeing the vest and short skirt beside me, I quickly put them on and did a few movements. I was very satisfied with trying them on. "Thank you, Captain Lv." Regardless of whether Little Dragon heard or not, he rushed out. Lv Xiaolong watched as the two of them were dressed, and such a big man was rare to broaden his horizons. To avoid embarrassment, he had to pretend to be asleep, and then the last one arrived at the scene. Southeast and I smelled a bloody smell, so we came over and saw this. Yeah, this place is not far from us, but to our surprise, none of us heard anything. Of course not, take a look at these weapons, Lv Xiaolong pretended to analyze. These are all cold weapons. Those who rely on these things to kill beasts are experts, and it's not like shooting that we all have to hear. It seems to make some sense, they wavered. Director Lv Xiaolong deliberately followed the bloodstains to check and said, "Hey, come on, what's inside?" Qian Dong pulled it out and practiced, "Ha, it's actually a travel tent. It's still good. We can sleep in the tent now, ha. Put them away and take those swords away, we can still defend ourselves in danger." "Right, right, right. In this wilderness, everything is precious and must be kept together. Look at the bloodstains here heading towards the stream, Mom, don't pollute the water source. Let me take a look. Hurry up, come on, there's still a big backpack here, it's a big one. Be careful, I'm here. Xiaolong rushed over. Who else would doubt his acting skills? Quickly, a backpack was thrown onto the grass, and Xiaolong was responsible for opening it, with everyone watching. All the items were poured out and piled up on the ground. I really suspect it was specially customized for them. 2 flashlights, 3 lighters, 2 electric shock sticks, 1 universal solar charger, 2 large compressed bottle dryers, 1 first aid kit, and 1 outdoor fluorescent stick. 1 multifunctional compass, 2 bottles of disinfectant tablets for drinking water, 1 bundle of climbing rope, 1 telescope, 1 folding tactical axe, and 1 folding engineer shovel. Strange, how could there be something from our era here? Lv Xiaolong first spoke. Yes, this indicates that we are not the only ones. There are also humans like us who have traveled here. I hope we can meet them, so we can live together. Many people have great power. Not necessarily, didn't they see our bonfire at night? They killed the beast and ran away, indicating their disdain for us. Everyone was gossiping, but Xiaolong gave them a misunderstanding and said, it's possible that they are cultivators. They look down on ordinary people in their eyes, so they don't pay attention to us. I don't believe it, where in the world is the cultivation of immortals? Ignorance, where did we travel? Now that we've all come through, how do you explain? Chapter 5. Primitive Horse. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yes, it's already difficult to explain, indicating that there are still many unsolved mysteries in this world that even science cannot provide answers. Zihan agreed. The other few nodded thoughtfully. Let's go, we can't just stay here all the time. Let's try to walk slowly and see if there's a better place to stay. Having a tribe would be even better. Everyone thought Xiaolong's proposal was okay, so they packed up and distributed the things they had picked up. He peeled off these 4 wolf skins himself, rolled them up, and tied them up, so that they could be used as mattresses when sleeping at night. The 3 men divided 3 lighters, the electric baton was given to Zihan and Jai, and the compass was under the control of Xiaolong. The rest were put back in the backpack and carried by Xiaolong. The wolf skin was divided into 2 parts for Zihan and Jai to carry, and the backpack for the folding tent was carried by 3 men in turn. Where is the most suitable way to go? Xiaolong asked, holding up his compass. Captain Lv said that when water flows downwards, we naturally cannot do without the source of water, so let's go downwards. Wang Southeast felt that what he said was not a problem. No way. It was Xiaolong who was singing against them again. Although we don't have carnivorous dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus rex in America, don't forget how dinosaurs were extinct, so we need to move higher. Xiaolong said in confusion, isn't it said that it was caused by a meteorite hitting the earth? Then it said that humans are transformed by apes and monkeys. Hehe, just let me know if you have any insights. Besides work, we'll listen to you. In the early days of China, floods were the most frequent. Before the Great Use flood control, floods were a frequent occurrence in the country. Now there are wastelands everywhere. The rainstorm is the flood season, and the lower part is the place that will suffer from the disaster at any time. Later, a lot of river channels were excavated to reduce it. In the Central Plains, there are basically only herbivorous dinosaurs, such as Ruyanglong, Lianglong, Brachiosaurus, and duckbill dragon. They are not our biggest threats. We only need to prevent bears, wild boars, tigers, and wolf packs. Of course, I heard that there were lions and elephants, rhinoceroses and crocodiles in ancient times, but these are only a few, so the 6 of us must not leave the team casually. Understood, then let's head west. A team of uniform brown and gray-black wolf-skin clothing walked on the wasteland, and at first glance, they could see that it was green for dozens of miles without any human habitation. 6 people crossed over, not only naked, but also unable to bring the earrings and rings on Jia Yi and Zihan's bodies. They really came naked, except for Xiaolong's space, which was not affected. Now they are marching on the grassland, which looks particularly abrupt, with animals in the grass peering at them. The vast and boundless land is very rich in vegetation, and it is often covered with forests, which brings a lot of trouble for advancing because it is impossible to march in a straight line. After walking for less than 2 hours, the 2 beauties couldn't bear it anymore. They sat on the grass feeling indecent and quickly squeezed their legs into this damn gap. Oh no, I can't walk anymore. My feet are all scratched. How can I walk without shoes? Jia and Zihan were caressing their white and tender feet with sadness, but they were actually cut by some thatch leaves on the grass, leaving only tiny blood marks. Xiandong, Southeast, and Yongchang are actually similar, but the big man still perseveres to save face. Then let's take a break. Everyone has a compressed biscuit and some water, and I'll make shoes for you. Xiaolong took out a wolf skin, cut it into squares, tore off the skin of the vine, and twisted it into a thin rope. Come, give me your feet. Xiaolong squatted down and wrapped the furry side of the wolf skin around Jiayi's feet, then tied it with a thin rope around her ankle. Jiayi's feet were being held by Xiaolong, feeling a bit embarrassed, but now is the time for survival and not a serious one. Her usual arrogance must be abandoned. Soon everyone put on short boots without soles, and even stones under their feet would still hurt, but thorny vines and even venomous snakes were no longer a concern. Thank you, Captain Lv. This will make you much more comfortable. Huh, are wolf leather shoes available for sale? Only we can wear them, right? I don't know how long it will take to walk, but protecting your feet is indeed the most important thing, or is there a way for Little Dragon? Xiandong is bigger than Xiaolong and is the deputy team leader, so he always calls Xiaolong Xiaolong. Others are smaller than Xiaolong, so they all call him Captain Lv. A compressed biscuit was taken down, and after drinking a few more sips of water, everyone was immediately energized. We set off again. Seeing the little dragon climb onto the soil slope arched by the grass, the others quickly climbed up and looked around. Wow, it's so beautiful. If we hadn't survived in the wilderness, setting up a tent and camping in such a beautiful place would have been so enjoyable for 3 or 5 friends to drink and barbecue. Oh my goodness, all you can't see at a glance is a wasteland overgrown with weeds. In future generations, it's a pity that this land belongs to any village or town. It's so wasteful. Jiayi smiled and said, "Hee, then you should be a good person responsible for farming. Maybe future generations will write you down in history books." Look, what kind of animals are those? Are they donkeys or mules? They don't look like horses anyway, Zihan pointed and shouted. Everyone looked over and saw that the wind was blowing grass and seeing cows and sheep low. When the wind lowered the grass, a group of animals in the distance were eating grass, bowing their heads and swinging their tails leisurely. Hee, do you think it's not? It just happened to be. This is the early primitive horse. Little Dragon was stunned for a moment after speaking. Because there is a beep in my mind. The owner can tame the horse as a mount, so that you will be respected in this world. Many people nowadays don't even know how to use fire, let alone tame animals. Xuanhuan sword and Xuanhuan bow are within the system, and these 2 divine tools can add supreme divine power to you. Animals are particularly sensitive, and they will naturally submit to you. No, right. These horses are so ugly. Primitive horses were not as majestic as later generations. Their large fur was particularly long and dirty like the curly hair of Africans. The small ones were really no different from donkeys. But since it's a system, it definitely won't be wrong. Since there's no harm, why not give it a try? Ah! Are they horses? Oh my, this beautiful grassland is paired with such a horse, which completely disrupts my beautiful scene of galloping on horseback. Xiaolong put down his backpack and said, "You all stay here and don't move. I'll try and get a few horses over, so that we can not only ride but also carry things." "Really?" The two women's eyes suddenly lit up. "Give it a try, I can't guarantee it either." Little Dragon dare not exaggerate, after all, he has never tried before. The tall thatched grass was so tall that people couldn't see it as soon as they squatted down. Little Dragon bent down and quickly approached, while communicating with Natasha in his heart. "NASA, how can we capture them? There's everything in the space, these wild horses have never eaten refined feed. You use soybeans, eggs, and a little salt, and I guarantee they can't live without you anymore." Chapter 6. Singing Brings Lions. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Crawling forward, he arrived at the top of the herd of horses. In the grass, since his own people couldn't see what he was doing, Xiaolong prepared all the feed according to NASA's instructions. 6 of his own people wanted 6 horses, and he took out 8 wash basins to load 2 more loads of food. The upward wind dissipated the smell of the feed, and the horses quickly searched for it, only to see the little dragon pause for a moment before continuing forward. The human race has not yet popularized the land, and many animals see that humans have no fear at all. Xiaolong chose to push away the dissatisfied horse and let the horse he liked come over to eat. The basin for feeding was so large that his head couldn't squeeze anything else down. Taking advantage of their eagerness to eat, he caressed their heads and hugged their necks one by one, promising them intimately, "Let's eat and there will be more in the future. As long as you follow me, I will definitely feed you well and make you eat such good feed every day. Would you be willing to take a shower for you? Let's snore. Let's snore." The horse, eating the feed, looked up at him, snorting contentedly and happily scraping the ground with its front hooves. "Huh, I understand." The little dragon was very happy. As soon as they finished eating, they immediately put away their wash basin and took them away. The people on the slope are obstructed by thatch, sometimes they can see them but sometimes they can't see them. Of course, they don't know what happened, let alone the basin on the ground. But when he saw a row of horses following him, he was immediately excited and cheered. The little dragon waved to them and they couldn't wait to rush down. "Wow, Xiaolong, how did you do it? Too impressive, Captain Lv. Wow, can you really ride it? Isn't it necessary to have a saddle to sit on? Oh, it's so coincidental. How could it be like drinking and punching? Look at the 8 horses, 666, Xiaolong divided the 3 wolf skins into 2 and used them as cushions on the back of the horse, letting everyone recognize one they like and first get close to it to establish a relationship. Take out the climbing rope and tie 2 backpacks to the back of the horse. Hang the big sword and ancient sword on both sides for easy access, and then let them try riding first. The men climbed up with their arms around the neck of the horse, and the 2 beautiful women were helpless. Little Dragon had no choice but to carry them up. The 2 of them tried to walk a few steps and were extremely happy. "Ah, they're so good. Ha ha ha, I really like them. They don't look fierce or obedient at all. It's not that hard to travel now. Yes, I heard that horses need to be tamed before they can be tamed. I didn't expect them to be so gentle, and I suspect they are a cow with such a temper. He, drive, drive. Everyone is much more comfortable riding the horse now." Xiaolong leads the way in front and follows behind, but the only downside is that he is in neutral and his fur feels too uncomfortable rubbing against it. Give me an encounter on a green pasture, give me a look, hot and scorching, the man who harnesses horses, you are majestic and majestic, the galloping horse is like a fast wind, the endless wilderness wanders with you, your heart is as broad as the earth. Wu Yongqiang opened his voice and sang a song, which instantly made people feel more open-minded. But his singing immediately caused trouble, and the gentle horses suddenly became restless. Little Dragon immediately waved his hand alertly. Wu Yongqiang quickly shut up, but it was too late. Suddenly, a long-haired monster emerged from the tall grass, bared its teeth and let out a roar. Ah, lion! With a cry of surprise, Zihan had already fallen off, and the horse quickly ran away on its own. Jai tightly hugged the horse's neck, and all the horses rushed towards the front. The little dragon drew his gun and urged the horse a few times, but it didn't move at all and had to jump down and run back. The singing attracted the curious lion to come and see something, and Zihan, who was trembling, didn't dare to pounce and bite. Zihan dared not look directly at it, and with tears in his eyes, he tried to lower his body as much as possible, thinking of bidding farewell to his parents. The lion sniffed its nose because the taste was very complex, including those from horses, humans, and wolf skins, so it was not sure if this thing could be eaten. Little Dragon was not sure if they had a large group, so he waved his pistol and shouted. Ho 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 ho, go, 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 roll away. Roar. The lion let out a low roar, extended its tongue and flicked its lips twice, blinked its eyes, and took a few steps back. It seemed very afraid of the little dragon, and the little dragon was not sure if it was true. Anyway, there was a weapon in hand, so he followed suit and approached a few steps. Hurry up, we are the ones you can't afford to provoke. Don't make it difficult to find us on your own. If I shoot you, you will die, you know. Go home and take care of yourself, be good. Pushi. Zihan's tears and nasal mucus, which had been teased by him, also came out. He felt that Xiaolong had a sense of security and quickly got up to hide behind him. The lion did indeed take a few steps back, Little Dragon took a few more steps and looked at it fiercely, saying, hurry up, otherwise I'll be angry. Oh. The lion suddenly retreated into the grass, and a few leaps disappeared without a trace. Are they afraid of me? Little Dragon thought to himself. Ho ho, the horse is back. The lion left, and the horse continued to behave obediently. He shouted a few words and really approached him. Captain Lv, you can become a beast tamer now. You're really amazing. Thank you for saving me again. Yes, we are a whole. Xiaolong picked her up again and put her on the horse's back, and everyone gathered together in a queue. Mommy scared me to death, how could there really be a lion? Jai said fearfully, I'm sorry Zihan, it's not that I don't care about you, it's that the horse ran away on its own. What I know is that I don't have the ability on my own. Wang Southeast asked with concern, is everything okay, Zihan? It's okay, Captain Lv scared it away. Qian Dong sighed and said, Xiaolong, you are really talented. I have found that there is almost nothing difficult to get you. We are really lucky to have you. Let's go, Little Dragon rode his horse and continued to lead the way. It's almost noon, we need to find a safe place to eat something and rest. He also wanted to try his skills, so he bent down and hugged the horse, saying, you can show me a way and help me find a place with water. Tu-lu-lu. The horse shook its head and quickly ran around a forest, only to see a lake. Their arrival alarmed the animals by the lake, and in the woods and grass, panicked figures peeked and scrutinized them. How beautiful! This water is really clean, without any industrial pollution. Yes, this is nature. Everyone dismounted one after another, washed their hands and faces by the lake, and even picked them up to drink water. Comfortable, sweet taste. As usual, you stay here and find some dry branches in the forest. Don't scatter or walk far when moving, bring weapons to defend yourself, and I'll go and take a look nearby. Chapter 7. Rich Resources. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 8. Lightning Transformation. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Hee, are you here to add more vegetables? Little Dragon rudely swung his big knife, and a few drops of blood surged. The snake's head flew out a long distance, and its body fell to the ground. "It's really beyond our control," he said after picking up the things and returning to the campsite. Everyone came back and said, "Who will come with me to the river to get something? There are phoenixes and dragons. Today, I will make up for everyone." "Let's go," Zihan and Jai followed. He washed the bamboo chopsticks clean and asked them to take them back. He scraped off the snake's skin himself, threw the internal organs into the river, washed them clean, brought them back together and put them into the pot. After boiling, take out 2 pieces of firewood and simmer slowly over low heat. Smell the aroma and add scallions, garlic, celery, and leeks. Soon, a pot of meat and soup is completed. Eat some compressed biscuits. Don't be polite, let's enjoy the soup and meat on your own. Except for the lack of salty taste, which is so delicious, not a single person is willing to fall behind after a big move. They are nibbling on cookies, drinking soup, and occasionally picking up some meat to chew on the sweet and refreshing taste. "We won't eat snake meat, but let's keep some more bullfrogs for us. It's too delicious. Captain Lv, I'm really afraid that wandering with you will make me lose weight and unable to walk." The little dragon head didn't lift his head and said, "If you want something delicious, eat more. It's not like you're lucky every day. Maybe you'll have to starve for a whole day sometimes." That's right, that's right." Xiaolong nodded and said, "It's possible that you can't find food everywhere in the wilderness. When it's time to supplement, add more and don't starve to death." Upon hearing this, Wang Dongnan and Wu Yongqiang quickly poured another bowl of soup and drank it while blowing. As the sky gradually dimmed, Little Dragon took care of them and said, "Don't run around when it's dark. What do you think killing a snake means? Don't be bitten. I'll take a look at the horses and check if the area is safe. You can go to bed early and leave me alone." Little Dragon came to the forest and gave the horse some feed, not too much, after all, the grass had already been eaten. "Then I went to the riverbank and adjusted the fishing line and bait from space, inserted several lines and threw them into the river. When we came back, everyone had already entered the tent. The tent was not small, but it was quite crowded with 6 people lying down. He sat at the inner door, resting his gun on his lap with his eyes closed. At night, when he heard the sound of splashes, he knew that a fish had hooked, but he didn't pay attention to it. There is the roar of beasts in distant places, and besides the sound of insects chirping, the wind swaying branches nearby, the night is still relatively safe. Xiaolong came out first and sharpened a branch, then put away the fishing line, and sure enough, there were fish. In this era of no fishing, the fish in the river are big and greedy, with small ones weighing 3 or 4 pounds. He poked a hole with a branch when he picked it up, then picked it up and threw it on the ground at the entrance of the tent. Everyone looked out and praised it. Ah, the captain went to fork the fish early in the morning. Oh my God, it's so big. Ha, you can have fish soup again today. The fish here must be delicious, pure wild. I'm drooling about what you said, hee hee. Xiaolong said, "Why wake up so early? We're not on our way today, let's all go to bed for a while longer. It's raining and we can't fall asleep." He himself carried a weapon into the forest. "Ma, don't run around when it thunders later. Take a day off today and we'll set off tomorrow." The horses obediently gathered together and knelt down. As he walked, he looked around and saw some ugly apples and persimmons. "I first made a basket out of rattan, picked some wild fruits, and then picked some uglier ones from the space, carrying them together. This way, the truth will not be doubted. It will be different when NASA pretends to be a ghost. That's the future, let's talk about it later." Carrying the basket back, they did indeed shrink back and fall asleep again, so he continued to wander around nearby. Surprisingly, I saw Sichuan pepper and collected many wild plants again, not letting go of anything I could eat. Returning to clean up, killing fish and starting to cook, the jingling sound woke them up. Ah, I slept so comfortably. I didn't sleep well, I dreamt I went home. Don't say anything discouraging, I don't want to hear it. It's all like this now. Being able to live is a good thing, don't think about anything else. That's right, everyone is happy. It's just a day to get by. Ah, fruit hee, Captain is really amazing. Well, it's so sweet. It seems like I've never eaten it in my life. It's so delicious. Pooh, this one is both sour and astringent. Ha ha ha, that's your bad luck. After enjoying a delicious meal of river fresh food, everyone quickly tidied up and hid in the tent as dark clouds rolled over the sky. Gulong gulong. The sound of thunder rolling came from the sky. Xiaolong suddenly said, "Oh my stomach is not feeling well. I need to go out to make things easier." Jia said anxiously, "Oh, hurry up, it will rain heavy rainstorm soon." Zihan also said with concern, "Well, go and get back quickly, don't get caught in the cold." "Be careful, Xiaolong," Qian Dong said again. "Well, it's okay." Little Dragon asked NASA as he left the tent, "NASA, where is it suitable for me to stand?" "Don't move, it's here." Before the words fell, click click click, high voltage. High voltage. High voltage. The people inside were bright and dark in front of them, and with a loud bang, a landmine seemed to land beside them. Quickly looking out, 10 eyes witnessed Little Dragon convulsing all over his body and his hair standing straight up. An arc was still flickering on him. "Not good, Captain. Captain Lv. Ah, Captain. Captain Yalu. Little Dragon. 5 people are split in liver and gallbladder, and their hearts ache like a knife. Isn't this just a lightning strike? Is there any way to save everyone after they've been beaten like this?" They have already mourned for Xiaolong in their hearts. In fact, what they saw were all illusions. The ark was caught by NASA, a little distance from the Little Dragon, and of course, it made the hair stand straight. NASA jumped happily and said, "Cluck cluck, Master, the performance is starting. I'm here." 3 men were stunned, while 2 women were in tears. They saw Little Dragon again as if he was in an ancient tomb, and suddenly stretched out his arms, holding his head high and shouting. "Ah! Ah!" The ark shimmered with golden light, Zila Zila. Bang! A spark flickered, like a light bulb bursting, a fuse burning, or a welding rod clicking, making their eyes uncomfortable for a moment and unable to see clearly when they see again. Ah! 5 question marks, and 500 exclamation marks like 1,000 crows flying through their minds. Wow, winky face. Wow, wow. Because the person shouting has changed. At this moment, it feels like Lu Bu is still alive, and Chu Ba Wang reappears. The movement is exactly the same as that in the ancient tomb the day before yesterday. The bow is in the left hand and the sword is in the right hand. Only a golden armor is added out of thin air, which is very powerful. NASA said happily, "Done, finish work." The Little Dragon slowly leaned back and fell to the ground in a large figure, without moving with a loud bang. Seeing the thunder and lightning pass, the 5 finally woke up and said, "Captain, Captain, Captain." They rushed to Little Dragon's side and watched this incredible scene. 1 second ago, they were still modern people, but now they have become a great general. Looking at the weapon in his hand, Qian Dong's eyes were like copper bells. Xuanhuan sword, Qiankuan bao. Chapter 9. Can my thoughts come true? You are listening at Novel Full.Audio. They carried Little Dragon into the tent, and Qian Dong quickly fed him water. Wang Southeast bent down to listen to his heartbeat. When Wu Yongqiang opened his eyelids to look at his pupils, Xiaolong had already woken up leisurely and saw Zihan and Jia crying with sadness. "Ha! What happened? What are you 2 crying for?" "Ah," the captain woke up. "Wu Wu, you scared us to death. Wu Wu, you're the one we're worried about." Don't you know you've been struck by lightning? Ah. Being struck by lightning. It's impossible, isn't it? I just feel like I woke up from a dream. Xiandong said, Little dragon, take a look at what you're wearing and how did these two cultural relics come from? You'll know we're not talking nonsense. Ha. Yeah. What's going on? Are all the dreams just now real? It's impossible. I'm a soldier, I'm a materialist. Captain, can you talk about it? What exactly did you dream of? Yeah, if you really don't listen, you'll know. I dreamt that I was killed by a golden light in the ancient tomb, and then an old man with a white beard said to me, Dragon, now the world is suffering and we need you to save the people. You should go back quickly. Then dress me up like this and give me a weapon. Xuanhuan sword subdues demons and eliminates demons. Xuanhuan Bao thought to himself, your teammates are still waiting for you, right? Then I woke up. I didn't expect something really to be there. Zihan. It's strange. Since we entered the ancient tomb, incredible things have happened one after another, and I doubt what I have learned before. Jiai. Indeed, since time travel has already appeared, what is there to say about whether it is reasonable or not? Being is reasonable, and the fact is right in front of us. Xiandong said, we started traveling and didn't bring anything. Now that the sword and bow have arrived again, I have to believe it. I can't help but not believe it. Wu Yongqiang said, is it difficult? Are there still demons and monsters here? Just now, you said you wanted to subdue demons and eliminate them. Wang Dongnan said, there is also the Qianquan Bao that can achieve our dreams. How could it be so magical? Then you think about it, can you take us home? Xiaolong picked up his bow and said, how could it be? Dreams are just dreams. Are you serious? So, what do I really want to do now? I haven't smoked for 2 days. Ah. A pack of Huazi cigarettes fell to the ground from somewhere unknown. The bright Chinese red stunned everyone. Jiai. If it weren't for your presence, I would definitely scream, ghosts. Zihan. I have goosebumps. Wang Dongnan trembled and picked up his cigarette to examine it. He tore open the packaging and sniffed it, saying, there's a play, there's a play. Hurry up and turn us back. I've had enough time here. Xiaolong shook his head and said, no, I don't believe it. This is a cover-up, everything is fake. He portrayed his innocent appearance to the fullest, so that everyone would trust him even more. Give it a try, Captain. Maybe we'll really rely on you when we go back, Jia Yi pleaded. Xiaolong really shouted, take us home. Seeing no response, he shouted again, Qianquan Gong, take us home. Xiaolong said, look, I'll just say it's all fake. If it really works, wouldn't we just be immortals? Hi, Bai is happy. Zihan let out a sigh of relief. Xiaolong scratched his head and rubbed his ear, saying, who threw the cigarette? Isn't it okay for people to have something? Then I'll give it a try again. What do we need? We're short of toothpaste, toothbrushes, towels, blankets, tissues, and toilet paper. If possible, could you give me 6 sets? I don't believe it. This and this. Before he could finish his words, he said, wow. 6 sets of toothpaste, toothbrushes, towels, blankets, tissues, and toilet paper each appeared out of thin air. The tent couldn't fit any more, and everyone was speechless with their mouths open. Xiaolong pretended to be extremely frightened and said, how could that be? I'm sure I haven't woken up yet, I'm still dreaming, this must be in my dream. He pinched himself gently and said, Hiss, it's not a dream to step on the horse, what should we do? The tent is only so big that 6 blankets can't fit anymore. How about you take it back? We'll take it out when we sleep. Take it back, take it back. With a blink of an eye, searching around, the 6 blankets were really gone, quiet, frightened, and eerie. "Mom, I can't take it anymore." Jia sat down and covered her chest, saying, "My heart is about to jump out, it's even more exciting than ghost movies." Xiaolong also rubbed his chest and said, "Stinky kid, my heart is not very good. There is no hospital here. If you mess me up, I'll see how you do it." Zihan blushed and leaned over to see everyone finally grit their teeth and say, "Well, Captain, can you change us into a pair of underwear?" Xiaolong could have taken it out just now, but if it went too smoothly, they would have a mentality of getting something for nothing, and in the future they would lie down and support them equally. So the more you want something, the more precious, mysterious, and unexpected it becomes. So he raised his Qiankuan bow again and said, "2 ladies and 4 men's underwear. I'm not used to being in neutral, everyone wants it, so all eyes are fixed on it." 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Xiaolong shrugged and said, "I'll just say, there's no such magical treasure in the world. Even supermarkets have stockouts." "Oh, oh, oh." He suddenly shouted with his head in his arms, causing everyone's expressions to become tense, thinking it was the aftermath of being struck by lightning. Xiaolong helped him down and said, "Little dragon, are you okay? Where are you feeling unwell?" Xiaolong lay on the ground and occasionally twitched, causing Zihan and Jia to tremble along with him. It was truly inexplicable. Xiaolong's face was exaggerated, and he shook his body and said, "You must believe in the dragon's instructions. You all bear the heavy responsibility of revitalizing the human race. We can't always think about getting something for nothing. To achieve something, we have to pay a price. As long as we work seriously and sincerely, everything will come true." After finishing speaking, Xiaolong fell asleep, and everyone looked at each other. "Isn't this the singing god? Jia. Do you say this is true?" Zihan. "It must be true, it can't be fake." Wu Yongqiang said, "I'm completely confused today. I really suspect we're living in a virtual world." Wang Southeast patted him and said, "Don't think too much. We will feel pain, hunger, talk, and be empty." Xiaolong said solemnly, "It's better to believe in what you have than to believe in what you don't. Now that everything has come to this point, everyone should not be complacent. Isn't what happened just now worth paying attention to? The ancient stories of Nuwa, Fuxi, and Shan Haijing are all true, so the story of Little Dragon is also true. This indicates that we don't do anything bad in our daily lives, and God still favors us." Knowing that we came to primitive society, he arranged miracles on Little Dragon. From now on, we must follow Little Dragon with one heart and one mind, so that we can survive better. As for what revitalizes the human race, let it be natural. Chapter 10. Air String Hunting. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiaolong finally felt at ease listening to their communication. Even if something strange happened to him in the future, they wouldn't make a big fuss. He had a thought in his mind, and his armor, bow, and sword were all collected into the space, revealing his true form. Sure enough, they no longer had the exaggeration they had at the beginning, thinking that this was his normal appearance. Anyway, it was still raining, so he was too lazy to move and slept until dusk, while everyone just looked outside and sat there foolishly for a few hours. "Oh, why did I fall asleep? I was sleeping in a daze, and you didn't wake me up." Xiaolong sat up and patted his body left and right in surprise, saying, "Hey, where's my armor? When you fall asleep, it disappears on its own." Yes, the bow and sword are also missing." "Captain, are your spells still there?" "Yeah, can we still bring the blanket back when the bow is missing?" Xiaolong scratched the back of his head and said, "I don't know either. Why don't I try again? Give me back my 6 blankets. Pup ppp. 6 blankets suddenly appeared, and the sitting little dragon was instantly knocked down and submerged. Ha ha ha, everyone laughed and rolled back and forth. He stacked 6 blankets in the corner and tried to say, I wonder if you can eat the food from our place. Let me try its function again. 5 pairs of eyes watched him gesturing there. I'll have some beef noodles, a little more beef. A bowl of steaming hot noodles came out, with a fragrant aroma that made one's fingers skip a beat. Lao Qian, this is your favorite food. Xiaolong pushed it over, but Qian Dong still didn't dare to take it seriously. He carefully picked up a piece of beef and put it in his mouth. Tears of happiness streamed down my face in an instant. That's the taste. I can still eat beef noodles from my hometown, Now I really feel at ease. Captain, Zihan's eyes lit up and he said, can I have a KFC? The god stick waved there for a while and said, KFC, I want a KFC. The result did not appear, and everyone did not feel disappointed. They had long realized that it was unreliable. Actually, there's nothing you want, but Xiaolong wants this effect. Hey, it doesn't seem like it's there. Then let's have a fried chicken. Whoosh, a tray and a delicious fried chicken appeared. Yeah, as long as it's fried chicken, then I'll eat it first. Jiai. I want a little pan rice with ribs. Whoosh, my wish came true. Everyone is responsible for monetizing the food they want to order, and of course, everyone knows that it is not omnipotent. But there was always a way to switch to a similar kind of food, and so a happy dinner was resolved. Everyone no longer had a worried expression, feeling that life had hope, and the next morning they all held their toothbrushes and giggled. Here and there, these are your underwear. They are very soft, and I think they are very good. The rabbit leather shorts were made very flat, and Jai and Zihan were pleasantly surprised. They blushed and hid in the woods, wearing them. As soon as he opened it, a few bags of anti-towels rolled out and said, oh, damn, he's quite considerate. Hee, how did he know I was coming? He is now Lv Banxian, hurry up and keep it, there's no need to be naked now, hee. But with a swish of his hand, Xiaolong disappeared from the tent and even the blankets inside. Everyone stopped tidying up and was satisfied with everything. Each mantou and a cup of soybean milk, the team set out again, all the way west. Everyone is a family now, I won't call my name anymore, Xiaolong said to them. The team leader is naturally Lao Qian. In the southeast, I call you Xiao Wang, Ah Chang is called Xiao Wu, Zihan is Xiao Li, and Jai is Xiao Sunday. You can call me Xiaolong or the team leader as you please. Hee, didn't you say dragon? Then I'll call you Dragon Team.The. Well, it's quite interesting. The dragon team sounds quite nice. Yes, then let's unify. Okay, that's settled then. The next day, a mountain range appeared in front of me. Zihan jumped up happily and said, all right, we've reached the high ground. Finally, we don't have to rush anymore. Xiaolong looked at the small and majestic mountain range without making a sound. Let's take a look first, after all, everyone is very happy. Lao Qian looked at it and said, then let's go into the mountain and take a look. I hope we can find the human race. Upon entering the mountain, the only option was to dismount and walk. Looking at the ground and the forest, the little dragon had to continue to move forward. Quickly, each person received a pair of Special Forces high-top tactical boots with soft cowhide anti-slip soles, which were very suitable for mountaineering. After climbing over a mountain, the sky became dim. Find a place to station, it's easy to attract wild beasts in the dark. Little Dragon began to search for a place with water. Quickly, everyone stopped by the ding-ding-dong-dong flowing stream and said, this is the rocky beach. Everyone used their feet to pry open the pebbles, cleared a flat area, and then threw the tent down. Xiaolong pretended to act and said, that's it. Today is breakfast and leather shoes, and it's not working. I'll go hunting and you guys will continue as usual. So the person who collects firewood picks firewood, and the person who builds a stove builds a stove. NASA, help me see where there are eating animals. It's enough for the 6 of us to eat. As little dragon walked, he asked, "There seems to be green light flashing in the woods over there. I see your blood is all green, so the Xuanhuan Bao doesn't need an arrow." "Ah! How can you shoot without an arrow?" "Hee, just pull the bowstring and shoot at it. God will bless your master." Of course, Xiaolong wanted to give it a try. He immediately held the Xuanhuan Bao in his hand and quietly arrived at the forest. Oh my goodness, it's a big flock of wild sheep. They are also going to stay overnight. A group of people are gathered together and crawling on the ground to rest, with only the front and back end standing guard. Xiaolong licked his lips, and the taste of the lamb was already lingering. He looked at which end to choose and raised his hand. Mia. With a warning sound, the flock of sheep suddenly dispersed, making people dizzy. Damn it, why is it so sensitive? Be careful, master. It wasn't you who alarmed them. A leopard is about to arrive. The words in my mind were still lingering, rustling, and the leaves on the ground made a rapid running sound. A black shadow rushed in quickly and launched an attack on the wild sheep. Bah! 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 The sheep scattered and fled in fear, and the little dragon finally saw the appearance of the leopard. In his heart, he had set it for dinner tonight, and its size was not large. In fact, it is about the same size as a sheep, with light brown hair, a long and agile body, and bright eyes. Xiaolong quickly drew his bow and shot the empty string at it, and with a bang, he immediately drew his bow and held the gun in his hand. Who knows if an empty string is reliable, or if a handgun has a tactile feel, holding it feels reassuring. Who knew he was really worried too much? The strong wind of the bowstring flew out, and the invisible wind knife cut off the leopard's head with just one blow. What a big head, with a grinning mouth, it flew out like this and rolled down the hillside. Puff! The body of the leopard fell to the ground, bleeding profusely. The little dragon satisfactorily withdrew its gun and ran over dragging its hind legs, saying, "Don't be afraid, you guys rest, sorry to bother you." The wild sheep looked at his departing figure and knelt down together, saying, "Bah! Bah! Bah!"